Now, you may already know, because you've read in the newspapers, because all over right now in Korea, there's a lot of talk about a sharp decline in total fertility for us. But before we talk about fertility, I kind of want to bring up this issue of life expectancy at birth. So for those of you who know a little bit about South Korea's developmental history, we used to be very, very poor, especially post-Korean War in 1950. But we had a remarkable economic developmental history, and we've reached a very, very high place right now. Now, with that, not surprisingly, life expectancy increased rapidly because poverty dropped significantly 6 years old. So we have a long life expectancy. As you can imagine, we're going to have more and more older people. Now, decline in total fertility rate is very disappointing for us because we used to be a country where we had a lot of children, a lot of babies. But with our development, fertility started to drop very fast. Now, I think there are things that I want to point out here. So the case of Korea right now is we are right now at an aged society. Being an aged society means that you have the population that are 65 or above is currently 14% or more of total population. So in 2017, our aged population was 14%. It's not that bad, actually, compared to other countries. But our problem lies not in the fact that we have 14% elderly. It lies in the fact that we have the fastest aging population in the world. So let me show you the numbers below. So for example, in our case, we're moving to an aging society, which I think a lot of the Asian developing countries are right now, which is a total population of 7% or more elderly. It only took us 17 years to reach aged society. Compared to Japan, which is notoriously known for having an aged society, you took 24 years. We beat that, basically, and we're now at 17 years. It's really actually a concern for us. And currently, to become a super aged society, which is about 20% or more of population being elderly, we're expected to reach that by 2026. Very, very close. So you can imagine our government, our society is very worried, especially since fertility is not improving by any means. Okay? So as the population ages, why should government or society get worried? Well, it's obviously some very worrisome things happen with aging society. The first is labor shortage. Now, with a labor shortage, economic growth will kind of become slow. Also, there will be a lot of financial pressure on all sorts of social services and pension funds. Also, healthcare costs will probably increase quite a bit for us. And so the government, in our case, has started to reform policies as one way to solve this problem by extending the work life of people. So we're encouraging right now, like other developed nations that are experiencing this problem, to delay retirement, to keep people in the labor market by a lot of regulations and creating programs. So I just wrote down a couple. This is not all of it. Now, I guess I just want to point out, like, these are the efforts on part of government to delay retirement and keep people in the labor market. Now, why is this an issue, especially in the context of social policy and well-being, social equity? Well, it's an issue because Korean elderly population is notoriously known for being poor. So I'll ask you, maybe you can guess, what proportion of elderly do you think are regarded poor in Korea? Because you might think Korea is a pretty economically developed nation. I'm not going to ask you to answer. I'll just tell you. It's almost 50%. Almost half of our elderly, those who are at 65 and above, are regarded to be poor. This is the highest, one of the highest numbers of OECD. So when we think of poverty, we cannot ignore elderly. They go together for us. There are many reasons for this, but one of them is our pension system. The national pension system is premature, meaning that it was universally applied to all people in 1998. It's fairly new. So this is a problem for us because we weren't prepared to have such a large aged population. Social insurance systems were not mature enough to kind of take this, but the rate increased at such a fast rate that even we couldn't. So this is kind of a problem, okay? Employment, then, we just, as public policy people, public administrators, we have to ask, is it right? Is it reasonable? Is it feasible? Is it equitable for government to push more towards this direction? We need to answer this question not just by making speculations. We need to answer it through, I thought, in my personal opinion, with empirical analysis, hard data. We need to have really good reason and evidence supporting this type of program. So I'm going to use two methods called the Milligan and Wise method and the Cutler method. Just to give you a brief introduction, the Milligan and Wise, so the key here is then you might be wondering, how is she going to measure health? Because the question is, are we healthy enough to work more? Measuring health was kind of the key reason why I have two different approaches. The Milligan and Wise kind of used mortality as one measure of health. So you know how I began the talk saying we're living longer. We're living longer, probably, I'll show you later evidence, probably living longer has something to do with health. So I'm going to look at mortality. Second is, I'm going to look at the traditional health measures that you think are health. And I'm going to show you how the two point to the same story. So let's start out by just simple graphs, very simple graphs. Don't worry, I'm not going to show you crazy equations or anything. It's just going to be very intuitive graphs. Okay? So here, this is the trend in labor force participation for Korean men. I'm only going to look at men for this paper because labor force participation for women in Korea is complicated by many factors, especially our traditional Confucian background, where women generally stay at home to raise children, but nowadays they're going back more. So that kind of complicates this. So I'm just going to focus on men right now to show you this. So from 1980 to 2014 is the x-axis, the years, and we have three groups. Now look at, so 55 to 59 is generally considered, reaching elderly, but still a group that should be working pretty much at their peak. So you can see, not surprisingly, their employment rate was always above 80%. Here, in the past 35 years, Korea has been ranked within the top third among 36 countries in terms of elderly labor force participation. I kind of showed you that graph. So let's look at then whether labor force participation rates for males changed over the past 30 years kind of period. So the red line is relatively current 2015. Blue line is the labor force rate for 1985. Notice in here, for people, men aged 50 to 74, substantially the employment participation, labor participation increased quite a bit. Like I said, it's not like we're working less, but rather we're working more and more and more. So then I want to move on. So I think you now get a sense of the labor market participation rate, right? So older people are working, if not more now, and older people have always been working more. Now let's look at mortality, okay? So I kind of already, from the outset, said life expectancy is improving, so that means mortality is dropping, not surprisingly, okay? Now notice here that the steeper the curve is, it means that mortality has improved more over time. I'm sure you're not surprised that we see the greatest gain in reduced mortality for the older people, right? The older you are, probably the mortality rate is dropping. And so health gains over time is larger at older ages, okay? Now, first method, it's pretty much simple. If people today were to work as much as people with the same mortality worked in the past, how much do you think they should work? So basically, we need to compare current people's behavior against what the past people would have behaved. The past benchmark, in this case, is selected as 1986. And so just to interpret this, top line is 1985 employment rate by age. And then the x-axis is the mortality rate. The bottom is the 2015 rate. Notice that the slope is much steeper for 2015. What that means is the employment rate drops quite drastically with mortality because mortality rate in 2015, for example, 55-year-old man's mortality rate would be 5 deaths for 1,000 1,000 people, and employment rate is 87.5. But if that man were to work just as much as a 1986 man with the same mortality of 5.005, then the employment rate would have been actually higher, which is estimated to be 93%. So if you follow these lines, you can probably estimate exactly how they would behave over time. It's probably not too surprising, so let's move on. I think this is the real approach that you're thinking, because I know you are skeptical and you're thinking mortality is not health, mortality is not health. You're right. So the question is, if older individuals in a given state of health worked as much as their younger counterparts, how much would they work? So this idea is to estimate a regression, estimating the relationship with health and employment. Health being measures that are traditionally what you think should be health. Many, well, about 100 variables are included here. All sorts of health measures, all sorts of even subjective health measures, objective health measures, all sorts of measures in there. And to estimate that using a younger cohort and applying the results to older samples, you can actually get a pretty good estimate of how older people would have behaved if they were actually behaving like younger people between ages of 50 and 54. Younger of 50 and 54 are people who can't afford to leave the market unless you're really sick. So you want to kind of see how older people would behave if they're behaving like that. Okay, so let's move on. This is the result. I have 3 age cohorts here in the x-axis, age 55 to 59. So the idea is if 55, 59 people today were behaving like their younger counterparts, how much of them would stay? So on and so on. Notice that the light blue estimated work capacity increases drastically for age 65 to 69. What this is saying is, actually, a lot of them are healthy enough to work more, about more than 30%, right? 33% of them could have worked if they were working like their 50, 54 counterparts, but they're not. By education level is really interesting because you might think there's some social kind of context to this, and there is obviously, right? So college-educated above have a lot more capacity to work than middle school graduates or high school graduates. That's not surprising because usually college graduate degrees have higher degrees, they have better jobs, they make better livings, they have better savings, so they're retiring early. It's kind of sad when you look at them MS graduate or below because they do have capacity, but it looks like they're still working at the maximum. They're working as long as they can, right? So this is kind of the context. This is a very interesting table that shows you, we asked the elderly, why are you working? Walking, more than half of them said because I need money. This is reflecting the poverty rate. Remember I said more than half of the elderly are poor? They're working because of poverty. And so the conclusion, I guess, is the results suggest that in Korea, even though we were already working a lot, there still seems to be more capacity, I guess, at least in terms of health and employment relationship. Obviously, health is not the only determinant to retirement. We need to consider individual preferences. Also, there are a lot of constraints in the labor market, right? Labor discrimination against elderly, labor demand issues. And so when making policy recommendations, I'm not saying to only use this result. That would be insane. But I'm just saying it's important to probably estimate these things and take into all factors together. Thank you very much for